a Toastmaster, ladies and gentlemen. Anyone here ever made a mistake? Errored. So we're all human. Bill Murray, human. You sure you want to lower the bar that much? How about divinity? Anybody here divine? Achieve divinity? No. So we may question the authenticity of some of the table topics this morning. This morning I want to eliminate on the platitude to forgive is divine, to dilate on that postulate in three ways. First of all, to examine the logic of the statement and one underlying assumption. Secondly, to offer some circumstances under which you may make a choice not to forgive. My third bucket leads to my conclusion that to forgive is a personal decision. So let's go to the first bucket, the logic of the statement to forgive is divine. We assume that to forgive means there's a transgression, a trespass, a debt incurred, and will you forgive that debt? Now that's a choice, to forgive a debt or not. That choice may not be optimal. It may be an error, which leads us back to being human. See, the statement to error is human, forgive divine does not command us to forgive. It only suggests that we have a choice to be divine or not. And that choice is a personal choice, whether to forgive that debt. Now the assumption, if we assume that if we forgive the debt, the trespasser will not trespass again. They will appreciate the forgiveness. But think about it. If a person commits a crime, goes to prison, and was released from prison, and we assume that they have learned their lesson, they are now forgiven, they have paid their debt. But the recidivism rate in our prison suggests that assumption is suspect. In fact, the calamity of human history would suggest that if we continue to forgive a trespass, we teach people to continue trespassing. This assumption is suspect. Now let's go to the second bucket, circumstances. In your mind's eye, picture a loved one, son, daughter, sister, brother, parents, a dear friend who you love very much. Picture them in your mind's eye. They're killed by a drunk driver. Are you going to forgive the drunk who walked away from that accident? 74% of the people who are arrested for DWI in the previous 3 years had a similar transgression. So what is the purpose of that forgiveness? Throughout the calamity of human history, every society on the face of the planet, when there is a crime, murder, rape, theft, has chosen not to forgive. Restitution. You are responsible for your action. Can all societies over human history be wrong? We don't necessarily forgive a transgression. If you rape or kill my daughter, and there's no question, it's on video, a jury of 12 people convict you of murder, and the state allows me to push the button that terminates your life. Does anyone here have a problem with that? Now, if you do, you're willing to forgive the rapist, but not me. So now let's go to the third bucket. A circumstance. I'm driving here to Toastmaster this morning on 59, and I round the curve onto the 610 loop, and a driver barges into my lane. pushes me onto the shoulder. I have to brake and stop my car. I'm sitting there on the shoulder, furious and angry, and as that driver passes by, they're on their cell phone, not paying attention. And I am angry, road rage. Anybody have that kind of an experience? I come here, I am angry, I'm upset, I'm wrapped around my own axle, so annoyed that I get up here and give a poor speech. Throughout the meeting, I'm not paying attention to any of you. I am angry, I am insulting. I'm my usual self. The person who drove me off the road is moving down the highway, happy as a lark, and here I am upset. They've incurred a debt. Now, am I going to forgive that debt? Or am I going to allow them to control me? And I suggest to you it's a practical decision. There's nothing divine about it at all. I choose to forgive. I am not going to allow that person to control me. End of the conversation. I'm going to move on with my life. Let's ratchet the transgression up a little more. You break into my home, steal my computers.
Oh.
Now, will I repair the broken window? Yes. Will I make it more difficult for you the next time? Yes, install an alarm system. Will I go to the extent of moving out of my neighborhood? Will I let the perpetrator control me that much? No. Now, as the crimes become more heinous, I may make a different decision. But that choice is mine. And it is a very practical choice. In fact, I don't think there's anything divine about it. Are you going to be consumed by anger? In some circumstances, yes. In others, no. It's a choice. And you can make that choice. So I offer you a modification of the platitude, to err is human, to forgive divine. And it sounds like this. To err is human. To forgive is a matter of personal choice. Make that choice and take responsibility for that choice. And if you don't agree with me this morning, if you believe I've made a mistake, if you believe I erred, you have a choice. Please forgive me. Madam Toastmaster.